Just woke up right now and I'm thinking about how dirty this file is. It goes back to the Victor contract. Think about it this way: one is before computers existed, which is still valid, done by hand, a manual contract such as Victor, and the other contract is with AI. They're able to latch on and just collect. But who has the oldest copyright? Hanna still has the oldest copyright, and we're going to explain that. Prophet Hanna does. So it's David versus Goliath. And remember, in the real version of the story, I told you two nobles were fighting. We're going to go over it. So on one side is the Australian team. That's with the AI, and, they're pushing little kids. And, that's where defense is stationed right now. The new defense. And they're with their little machines, pushing the little kids. Then we have old money, which is probably UK. They did the manual one, which is the first contract, which is Victor. Then there's Hanna. So there's 3 players left. It's almost like a Squid Game. You have 3 players left. Only one can collect. Why is Hanna in the right? Because she, at the very beginning, went to police and said, keep an eye on me. If those officers are missing, it's fraud. We're going to take it one level higher. She stopped generating. That's another blow to them. She put the game online. So amongst all these players, then we have the smaller guys nipping. One either supports defense or one supports the old money. I guess India would probably support the old money. But it's been nothing but hell for Hanna. As I look behind me, there's no wolves. Because these guys are private as hell. They're all over the place, scattered. And I'm so naive because I'm the woman in the story. I wanted them to have deserts of cactus fruit and eventually transfer to regular agriculture, arid wasteland reparation. I wanted gummies and jubes and cupcakes, a better world. Because remember, she's urban based. So she saw civil rights, she saw violence, she saw this, she saw that growing up. Like a knife pulled on her. She saw guns and weapons, and this is right immediately or at the beginning, at the end of civil rights in the late 70s. That's what she saw. So let's go back. So they're fighting over copyright right now, and they sent these little nippers. They come into the vicinity and go change her book around, and their job, they're getting paid, is to irritate the person. And it actually really works. Because when you do a poem and someone else comes and changes it around, and then they turn around and make you ugly and turn around and injure your head, how are you supposed to prove it belongs to a Turk? What are they crushing? They're crushing the historical component of the mighty Turk. Because that's a 2 million year devil's tongue history. That is applicable to India, China, Africa, Europe. It's what is hidden as cultures were blossoming on top of all of that. And they were intentionally following France and changing up language. This is one of the ugliest stories in the history of human. Because Hanna broke into the Vatican without stepping foot and did all of this. And all you have right now are the posers. There's pretty Olive out there who stole Olive's ID, which is a black hair, black eyes girl. She walked around with my ID, but she may have been set up, you see, by the little nippers. And that could be the military's doing a changeover, or that could be UK wanting something they trust, which is probably something Indian. It's you can't, it's just every single day it just gets uglier and uglier. But how is Sky Turk supposed to show that it's her work after all that crap? because there's big key witnesses. UFT witnessed animal to hominid. Eastern Europe witnessed the Tuck Journal. This is KGB now. All of Canada witnessed, and the courts witnessed, wings. But what they were planning to do was bring it out later and bring out the posers or the benefiters. After the two nobles did a gladiator run, one with AI, one with manual work. You see how ugly it is. Hanna, meanwhile, just wants to fucking present. Like, she's never sworn. It's the worst thing ever. When Hanna swears, you know it's at the last brink of her breath or life, so to speak. You're not going to get it any better than that. Then the little nippers now come into her house and touch her stuff, and they're building their story, and they're building their lucrative love nest where they're going to dupe people and rape little boys and do all kinds of crap. I'm looking at these men funny. It goes back to David and Goliath. But David is a female. And she only knows men, so she can have the name David. Davina. You can say, or David, something like that. But here's Hanna. I just want to present. All this information's out. There's a 50% or 60% or 70% chance the world is ending. And that could be the Russian noble's brother who is pushing the church to clean it up. But the church itself may have been infiltrated and is very boy-oriented. You can't get a more uglier story than this in history. It's a 25-year true story. So I have no fingerprints. You've changed my face 625 times, flung $2 at me. You brought all these little nippers into the vicinity. I have Australian defense with a remote control pushing little rodents. I have old UK pushing the Indians to come in. It's been nothing but hell. And when I say Indians, of course it's not the upper class Indians. These are the Illuminati's Bollywood people. Then good old Iran, which would make up this ring here. Leaving, they left an aristocracy ring here, but it's a copy. That means they used to open that ring and put opiates in. That's Iran's in there too. You can't have top 3 bad men and not include Iran in the story, who's just burning everybody and stealing. But they don't comprehend. It's been really someone with AI may be overpowering people, and they're duping people, and they're locking people up. If you look at my life right now, I'm a goddamn criminal who is butt ugly and who doesn't know how to write English and who stinks from head to toe. Poor Hanna. I'm the authentic now, and we are down to 3 players. UK, Australian defense, and Hanna. And time clicks, and all we're asking you to do is subscribe really to the channel. Because, and that's another thing. The videos get rerouted by the Taliban who's right up the street. That's another story. But we're trying to, hopefully if they hear me out, they can go and actually launch it. We're down to 3 players now. 3 players. Which the kids are nothing. The 2 nobles fighting and Hanna and the Russian guy watching, and the world might be ending. By subscribing, I might be able to get the money to do the exhibit in the vicinity. And it starts with, defense will probably come here and have a look at it. It's one person's life story. That's what makes the story messed up. It's a 25-year true story. What are you guys trying to do? We want all brown and caramel and sugar apples and cinnamon sticks.